Hey guys, welcome back to Supposedly Fun. I'm Greg. Now, if you're a reader like I am, and if you're watching this video, it's probably safe to assume that you are. People like to give you books for the holidays, but they don't really know what to give you. I used to give people lists, but they want there to be some kind of an element of surprise. So if anything, I get gift cards these days. And my husband gave me a very generous gift card at my favorite local indie bookstore for Christmas this year, so I thought it would be fun to tell you what I'm spending it on. So I have 3 books that I've gotten so far, and I have a couple more on order or that I'm waiting for. The first one I picked up is called Seduction, Sex, Lies, and Stardom in Howard Hughes' Hollywood by Karina Longworth. Karina Longworth does a podcast, you must remember this, which is Secret or Forgotten Stories from Hollywood's First Century. It's a really good podcast. It's one of my favorites. She meticulously researches the lives of the subjects she talks about. Like did a whole series on Howard Hughes in one of the seasons that she did. And she's very fair and even-handed. She's particularly interested in looking at common stories that may or may not be true about each celebrity. And I really like the depth of the research and the evenness of tone that she gives to everyone. So I'm really excited to read this book. She goes back to Howard Hughes in this and tells some more stories that she didn't have time on the podcast. She also has a really great storytelling style. So even though this is a really big book, I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait to read it. So that's the first one. The next book is called Breakfast on Pluto by Patrick McCabe. So I mentioned in my reading goals for 2019 that I have a particular interest in queer literature, but I'm not so good at the lesbian, bisexual, or transgender part of that literature. And I want to do better at that. This will help me with the transgender portion. It was published a while ago, so it's going to be really interesting to see how the perspective has shifted in the years since this was published, it was 1998 when this was published. So it'll be interesting to see what it gets across and how things may have changed since it was published. Looking forward to that one as well. That's Breakfast on Pluto by Patrick McCabe. I came down to 2 collected short stories by 2 different authors, and I went with The Complete Stories of Flannery OConnor. The other one was The Complete Stories of John Cheever. And between the 2, I had already read John Cheever's stories. I just wanted to reread them. So since this one is new, it felt like the one to grab. But also because one of my reading goals for 2019 is to read more books by female authors than males, it seemed like Flannery OConnor was the way to go. I have a friend who has read her stories and told me that they're fantastic. I've never read any of them, so I'm really excited to give this a try in 2019. So there you have it. Those are the 3 I have so far. I was not fast enough to get a copy of Mouthful of Birds by Semantic Web before they sold out, so I have one on order. I should be getting it this week. I'm really excited about that one. Like I said in my most anticipated books of 2019, this is something I'm really looking forward to. I loved the book Fever Dream. It was close to being one of my favorite books of 2019. It just missed the list. If I did a video about runners-up, it would have been on that. So I'm looking forward to these creepy stories by Semantic Web, which have just been newly translated. Another book I have on order is called The Gifts of the Body by Rebecca Brown. This is something that was recommended to me based on how much I loved The Great Believers, which was also one of my favorite books of 2019, but did make the top list. So based on my love of this one was recommended to me. And I'm really looking forward to it. It also deals with the topic of AIDS, but I believe it was published in 1995. So it'll be interesting to explore the different approach to the topic in this book. Because it's an older book, it's going to take a while to get, but I have one on order. That doesn't leave me with a whole lot left on the gift card, so what I'm going to try to do is hold on to it until April, because in April, Miriam Toews' Women Talking is coming out, and I really, really, really want to read this. I'm very much looking forward to it. In my most anticipated books of 2019, I mentioned to you how much I love Miriam's other book, All My Puny Sorrows. This is one of my favorites. Made me laugh, made me cry. And the subject matter of Women Talking sounds really interesting. It's about a community of Mennonite women trying to decide whether or not to leave their community after they discover that the men within their community have been drugging them and raping them in the night. So heavy, but so was All My Puny Sorrows, and I loved this book. So I'm looking forward to that one. If there's anything left over, I want to try to get Normal People by Sally Rooney, which is being published in the US in April as well. I've heard really good things about this book. It's shown up on a lot of best of 2018 lists that I've seen, which really has me looking forward to reading it. If I have to choose between buying Women Talking and Normal People, I might do women talking, but I really want to try to do both. So there you have it. That's how I'm spending my Christmas gift card this year. If you have any recommendations of things I should also be looking for, please let me know. If you've read any of these books, let me know that as well. And I'll be back with more. Until then, happy reading. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, subscribe, watch another one of my videos, or leave me a comment. Any one of those three things will make me really happy. And until next time, thank you.